Hello, welcome to another episode of Commander Durdle. So we're looking here at a Fate Reforged seed. As I mentioned in the Set Musings episode, I've gone with Alesha, who smiles at death, as opposed to, say, one of the dragons in the set. I just wanted to see it as a sort of antithesis of the previous week where I was playing a commander that cared about higher powered stuff. It's interesting to try this out with the lower powered condition. So also, as Alesha is a human warrior, I thought I'd try and get a tribal theme going as well, so try and push it in that direction. So what I've done is I've included from Fate Reforged a number of warriors in white and black that had interesting abilities on them. So we got Brutal Hordechief, Mardu Shadowspear, Mardu Strike Leader, Mardu Woe-Reaper, and Merciless Executioner. Now, of those, the only thing to remember is that the only one that can be brought back by Alesha, if it's in the graveyard, would be Mardu Woe-Reaper and Mardu Shadowspear. So I suspect as I get other warriors suggested, which may be more fitting for the deck, I will substitute them out with some of these, but I'm going to leave them in for the moment. I also couldn't resist including the Archfiend of Depravity because it was in the set. Other cards from the set, we've got Harsh Sustenance. It's an X damage spell. Well, we get this exchange of life, and it's working on the fact that I'm expecting to have a number of creatures in play, so I perceive this to be like a high creature count deck. If you remember, I think when I've spoken about the way I see this before, I always just try and make sure I've got, one of each of the types of cards in here from the set, if I can. So we actually got three sorceries. We got Crux of Fate, which I thought was a pretty cool modal spell. Or Crux of Fate, should I say. We've got Ghastly Conscription. We get to exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard in a face-down pile. Shuffle the pile and then manifest the cards. So we're turning them all into 2/2 creatures, which they can then manifest. So it's very interesting and strange removal spell. We've got Mob Rule, another modal spell there. Then, of course, we had a full complement of these tap life gain dual lands. So I figured we might as well play the full complement for the colour combination, for the 3 colour combination. And then I've just included basic lands from the set to bring up the count at the moment to 36 lands. I wanted to just play or include all the sieges in the colours of the commander. So we've got the Palace Siege, the Outpost Siege, and the Citadel Siege, and then also the enchantment break 9. Target creature with power 2 or less gains haste until end of turn and can't be blocked. If you remember, there was one piece of equipment in the set, and it's this interesting one which, if it's in play already and a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can attach it to it without paying the equip cost. So that's pretty nifty if you can get that into play. Although, of course, Alesha is reasonably low, so it's 3 to cast. So, yeah, probability-wise, you having this in your hand before you cast this is probably fairly low. But I just thought it's an interesting piece of equipment. So with Alesha, we've got First Strike. It's a 3/2, and whenever it attacks, we can pay hybrid white-black, white-black, black, and if we do, you get to return a target creature card with power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. we'll just see where that pulls us. Like I said, I would like to see a lot of warrior tribal here, and also cards that play nice with Alesha's ability in some way. I suspect and hope that on this one the mana curve is going to be quite low, so I'm hoping that I won't see some of the problems I've seen before with my mana base with some of the higher costing cards. Obviously with the fact it's going to be a creature based deck, then I want a fairly high creature count, you know, something in the region of 33 cards, and we'll just see how things play out. So let us go in and see what we will see. I understand there's a number of combos this deck can leverage, so things like Alesha, who smiles at death with Master of Cruelties, Anafenza, Murderous Redcap, and Viserys here. I'm more probably interested in the ones that are, rather than the colour ones, the more interesting ones that combo with the commander. Okay. Of course we've got Nomad's Outpost. I should take advantage of that. Right. What's it suggesting here? So it looks like mainly colour fixing. Plus, this is interesting in the deck. Card draw, because what we're playing here is see, red, white, black. So we should have that in there. Arcane Signet and a Soul Ring. The question is, do I want the full complement of filter lands? Filter mana. Signets. Why not? Singers have been suggested. I don't think I've in decks so far where I've done multicolour, they haven't been played that often. Let's do some protection and a solemn and a commander sphere. Where does that leave us? Artifact wise, 10. Let's just leave it at that, and then we might take a look back at those later. I must not forget to have a look at my land, but I'm going to just wait a little bit. Let's just see what Planeswalker or Planeswalker gets suggested, if any. It's probably not going to suggest anything. I mean, I suppose just have a quick look. Not here. Yeah, see, that's going to pull me in an equipment direction. Maybe not. Maybe I just won't play a Planeswalker in here. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, unfortunately, that might be good in this, necessarily in this deck. Might come back to that. See enchantment wise what gets suggested. See, there are a number of Planeswalkers that do generate tokens, but really I want stuff that's going to, you know, go into the graveyard, which tokens won't do, so I can get them back. Also, there's stuff like, I suppose, Elspeth that hates on big creatures, or like Liliana that, you know, might have a, you know, so I'm trying to think of the sort of Planeswalkers that have a sack effect or have a something that gets rid of the smaller stuff is a possibility. So I'll keep that in the back of my mind. Right. Okay. Saying that looks pretty neat. We'll see how that goes. If it is, I'm sacking out stuff to get into the graveyard. That interacts nicely with that. Let's leave it at that for the moment for enchantments, and we'll see what else we get might come up. I suspect with instance we just get a lot of utility stuff. I'm just going to research this just to make sure. We're playing white, so we're going to see things like, obviously, Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile. But there's a lot of interesting sort of white-black removal. And black-red in the form of Terminate. So maybe I would want to more play that. Let's look at some sorceries. See what gets suggested. The other thing is we are in white and black, so we do have access to certain mass removal cards. Like that, for instance. I could also do something with this. overload that. Of course, you know, what I want to play. That's in Rebirth. Damnation. Okay. I think that's good for the moment. Exile creature, I'm a bit unsure about this. Face down pile. So I was thinking of targeting myself. But just want to work out exactly what the action of this is, because I must confess I'm a little unsure as to when you manifest all those cards, if they're not yours, who yeah, I suppose you have control of them, so okay, well, I'll leave it in for the moment. Right, next up, I suppose creatures. So we did artifacts, enchantments, sorcery. Well, I'll have a look at. Let's get the land out of the way, because I do tend to forget utility lands when I do these episodes. So, Okay, so yeah, that's good. One right post in there. That. Passage. Now. I'm surprised it hasn't suggested, so I'm looking through these. I'm just thinking about like tribal cards. I haven't seen a ton of tribal cards. Apart from that. Okay, let's get this down a bit. On to creatures. Let's see where we get to. Okay, here we go. So yeah, lots of small things. But I'm not getting necessarily warrior tribal suggestions. Don't think anyway. Oh, I see. Sounds good. Maybe. Well, let me just go with the way it's pulling me. I'll take out that tribal card and we'll go with small creatures that synergize with other stuff. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm not going to get too hung up on warrior tribal now. Change of plan. We just want lots of creatures entering the battle and lots of creatures entering the battlefield and lots of creatures dying is good. Oh, this is going to be fun. Definitely playing more with the main ability. Now, what I want to do is, in that case, I don't really have a common tribe here, so I probably need to remove this. I mean, yeah, I don't have enough humans or warriors to really warrant that, so let's take that out. Also, let's just put this on a curve and see where we top out. So that's fine. Of course, it's the power that we're really interested in. But there was a creature in here. I was unsure about. I mean, it's fine when I'm casting it, but it doesn't really play to my commander's ability. Let's take that out. Seeing as now I'm not too concerned with warriors. That's fine. You may exalt. Where's that Mardu strike leader gone? Okay, doesn't hurt. So, what do we got left? 2 cards. Alright. See what else bubbles up. Suppose if I've got stuff bouncing in and out, that's pretty cool. Like fun. Right. Oh, hang on, what's down here? Yeah, now it's starting to get really interesting. There's so many choices here. You know, that decks that play around with creatures dying or stuff that comes back from the comes back to the battlefield. Like reanimation of small creatures with interesting abilities is really fun. You can really build some fun decks around that with a variety of different commanders and different cards. Okay, that's that done. I think I'm okay. My curve. Oh, looking interesting. I'll leave this as it is for the moment. We'll try a few sample hands and see what's what. So let's just export this in case things crash horribly. Although that hasn't happened in a long while. Okay, so what do we got access to? So all of our colours, which is great. We've got an Ankle Shanker. Break through the lines. Right, so we'll do turn one. Let's turn two. Let's break through the lines. Gonna swamp out. And cast our Alesha. Cool. Okay. So at the moment I can't really cast anything else until I get 6 mana out for that, 5 for that, and get Palace Siege out turn 5. That as well. I could start swinging with this. So yeah, looking good. Blackout. Another planes. If I did do this, what would I choose? So at the moment, when I don't have anything beginning of upkeep, return target, and so that fits in more with the strategy of the deck. This is more annoying, the bottom one. Beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So I would probably preemptively go with cards. So I can definitely cast this, no problem. Well, we've certainly got a lot of... so yeah, I could be swinging with this as well. Okay. To play that, my Ankle Shanker out, Bastion of Remembrance. Yeah, so it's getting my enchantments out, although I'm not seeing any creatures yet. So I got Rakdos Signet, make another mountain drop, get that out, Mardu Shadowspear, and so on. So yeah, no problem on the mana, but not really seeing any interesting crowd now. So now we're starting to see stuff. So it's fine. I'm making my drops, but nothing spectacular there. So Rogue's Passage, it's Orzhov Signet. What's that? Turn 2. Okay. Cool. So get a planes out. Get a Rogue's Passage out, get a Soul Ring out, which means I can then play an Orzhov Signet. Excellent. So now I can play all sorts of interesting stuff. That filters for that colour combination, or that. Would I prefer out? Loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Maybe that one. Bit stuck with Alesha until I get red. Bit stuck with a lot of things until I get red. Okay. Citadel Siege, you see, I need. Oh no, I do have double white. On your turn, put 2 on 1. I'll probably find that more useful, the second, the dragon's ability on that. Swamp, get that out. Get out Mardu Strike Leader. Okay. Things aren't so good now because I've got no red, and looks like we do have an Arcane Signet now, so I can start to cast my red cards, including that. Okay, so next one. Yeah. Oh yeah, so we've got all the colours here, so that's good, and we've got a Terramorphic Expanse. Cool. So let me just look at the draws now. Yeah. So the good thing is the mana base seems fine. I'm just looking at the draws. We had that one draw that was a little bit lumpy. What about what, turn 3 or 4, where we were looking for red mana. This one's not great. It's getting better now. Okay. This is not so good. We do have at least one. Yeah. This is not such a good hand. Yeah, so generally, and it's always fun, I think, with this, when you're looking at this, is just to try a few sample hands and then say the first 3 draws and just see what might be going on. Yeah. It's more often good than bad. I'm looking at the deck. I'm not really going to tweak it that much. What I'd probably be tempted to do, looking at the amount of utility we're getting out. So we have 32 creatures, which is pretty good. 35 land. I'm just trying to think what I would be tempted to add. Whether I would be tempted to just add 1 more land, and then if is there anything in the artifacts or some of these other utility cards that I could take out in order to maybe bump up some more low casting cost utility creatures. Get that up to like, I don't know, 30, 33 or 34 maybe. I wonder if I could lose some of these in enchantments as well. That's not too bad in there. Yeah, anyway, for the purposes of this episode, I'm just going to leave it at that. But there's a few things to, I think about. So maybe I would tweak the mana base slightly and possibly put in a couple more utility creatures at the expense of, I don't know, either artifacts, instants or sorceries. Maybe instants or sorceries. Perhaps some of the higher cost stuff. Maybe I don't need that Ghastly Conscription. So thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in the next episode.